About 6 weeks or so ago, I found myself thinking more about camp. About April, I started having these nightmares. I'm at camp and nobody's here. I'm at camp and we forgot to order the buses. I'm at camp and somebody didn't do their job. And usually it's me, but along with all of that, I also started very much to look forward to camp. It's a great week for me during the summer. I get to meet a bunch of you. We get to share time with, as I said the first night, with people who have this common interest. And I get to renew acquaintances, old friends, people who've been here for many, many years. One of the individuals I was thinking about a lot was a guy by the name of Bill Carson. Coach Carson, and I introduced him about 5 years ago when he spoke at camp, and I'll let that suffice relative to what I thought about him. But everybody, I'm 65 years old, everybody likes it when somebody that they respect tells them, nice job. And we had a lot of things in our program happen that I was proud of. And I knew that Coach Carson was at his cabin in North Carolina watching the Big Ten Network, and he was excited every time our kids did something that was good, because he was definitely a fan of our program. And I was looking forward to the chance to sit in the dining hall and talk about some of those things. I got a call a couple days later telling us that he had passed away. Somebody like Bill Carson leaving this earth probably isn't an incredibly sad thing, because every day of his life he was prepared for that. But it's sad for those of us who don't get to renew that acquaintance at camp. For those of you that have heard him speak here, he provided some of the most incredible talks. He could have been a stand-up comedian. He told the same stories over and over and over and over again. And he told them obviously everywhere, but you liked hearing those stories over and over again because the delivery was incredible. I can remember nights when this place was roaring with laughter as he would, in his animated way, was up here telling some story. Sometimes he got to a point, sometimes he didn't, but it was always funny. One year, and I continue to this day to think it was a good idea. One year, we start on Sunday. We know a lot of you go to church on Sunday. I go to church on Sunday. And so I felt like maybe Sunday evening we'd have an optional time here where we'd have some devotions, a little bit of time for those that might have missed that Sunday morning church service. And we did that. It was great. Some of the campers came, a lot didn't. That was fine. There wasn't anything other than what it was supposed to be. But somehow or other during the week, next thing you know, there's a Bible study going on over here and a Bible study going on over there, and every talk started to feel like a revival a little bit. And I don't have a problem with that. And yeah, I'm the guy in charge here, and everybody paid money. And I understand that some people probably didn't pay their money for that experience. And so Coach Carson was going to talk at the end of the week, and knowing the man that he was, a man of faith, I started to have these nightmares that it was going to turn into a old-fashioned revival meeting. For a lot of people, that would have been a cool thing. But again, like I said, not everybody perhaps would have an appreciation for that. And so before Coach Carson talked, I told him, look, you know, it's been a different year this year. There's a lot of things going on. It's all good. I know who you are. I know where you come from. But we need to make sure that in your presentation, that you let people know who you are, you let people know what you're about, but I can't turn this into a revival meeting. He says, I get you, I can do it. And the reason I figured out later that he said that immediately and quickly, knowing the way he believed, was because he was one of those kind of guys who every day, every single minute, every single second, lived in a manner so that everybody around him already knew who he was and what he believed. And so it didn't matter whether he said it or not, you already knew it. And that's a very special quality and something that I respected very much. Probably something that more of us could aspire to be. What we're going to show you here is something Coach Worley put together for me this afternoon. Pulled some things out here and there, not real long. But one of the things Coach Carson did here that I'm not sure that he did many other places was he used this forum to talk to young people doing an activity, track and field. He was with that track and field group every year. An activity that he loved, and use this as an opportunity to let you know how he thought life should be, how he thought you should conduct yourselves in this life. And as I said, he didn't always get to a point, but in this one or two instances, he absolutely did in his own way. And we're going to play this in tribute to him, but also because the message is still alive and well, and one that I think will resonate with all of you. So, that being said, Coach Carson, he's missed, and yet he's still with us. So let's take a look at this. Our next speaker, I knew of. I would watch him work. I watched his athletes run fast and really fast. I heard people talk of him, but it wasn't until he started coming to camp that I got to know him, and it's been an incredible treat at many, many levels. He makes me laugh and does a real good job of doing that for a lot of people. He makes me think because he's a wise man and very experienced, and he's seen a lot of things, and he might sneak up on you, but he puts stuff out there that I say, you know what, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's been around. He's associated with some of the best athletes, best sprinters in this country. And he's been here coming to camp now for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 years. And the only year he didn't come was the year he took out time to have a heart attack. And he tried to drive up here, but they wouldn't let him out of the hospital. But I really have appreciated his commitment and dedication to this camp and what we mean and what we're all about. And look forward to hearing as well what Coach Bill Carson from East Carolina University has.
Really 10 years, and I had 3 heart attacks and 6 bypasses, and I tried to get out of the hospital. I got out. I had the surgery on July 12th, got out of hospital 17th, got my wife, and she wouldn't drive me up. They wouldn't let me drive. I went back to work full time 27th of July. If I could work full time, I could have gone here full time. But she wouldn't drive me up. I couldn't get up here. I want you to understand what I'm trying to get across to you. I want you to understand that people are watching you. Everybody, you are in the spotlight. You are the choicest of the choices. You are gifted. You are intelligent. You are what this country is made of. And you're what it is. But people are watching you. If you do the wrong thing, I've had kids that I'm recruiting, and I'll watch them at a meet. They win the race, but I watch their conduct after. If their conduct isn't what I think it should be, I forget about it. I don't care what he runs. If he ain't going to fit into my team, he's going to be a hard guy to follow. I get in my car and I go home. Well, so character and personality and all is very, very important. So I want you to realize you never know when that little guy is watching you. You just don't know. So listen to this here. This is a letter that my son wrote on Father's Day to me. This is the greatest gift I ever received. I guess receiving my Lord and Savior is the greatest gift I've ever been given, in a sense. But this is a gift that I received. Dear Dad, so what do you give the man who has everything? I'm not sure if you can have everything you want, or even if you can have everything you need. But I am sure you have everything. I know this is true because I have seen it. When you brought the team to Knoxville for the track meet, I saw it. It wasn't something I recognized at first because it was very subtle. In fact, it wasn't until a couple of weeks later when I talked with Jeff Foster, came to town on business, that I realized what I had seen. He asked how you were doing, and it was at that moment when I determined that you do, in fact, have everything. I began to describe for Jeff a man who, at that precise moment in his life, was in perfect alignment with it. I told him how I watched you relating to your team, and how even though there was a lot of kidding around, there was profound respect in their eyes. Your assistant coaches spoke of you in an ever so subtle tone of reverence. Nothing like blithering adoration, but more like a sincere appreciation for having the opportunity to work with you so closely. Watching you as you made the journey from one side of the track to the other, I really believe you knew everyone inside the fence. Someone knew you, about everyone knew you. With some you exchanged a greeting, a handshake. With others you stopped to ask for a question. I wasn't close enough to hear what was said, but I am sure you were asking some question, and in reply, I could see you returning a gift of the wisdom of your experience. After a while, Ernie and I just moved along ahead. That was your time, your world, and you were the master of it. And that is what I saw. A man who was doing what he was created for, what he was uniquely suited to do, and he was loving it. The way I see it, you do have everything. The closest feeling I have to describe what this must be like is a feeling I get when I am playing a guitar. It may be a solo with a group, but at that moment, everything is perfect. The sound is in the room, the players connected such that they are playing as in one instrument, and the precision of that one who created music. Everything fits in balance. It is a perfect moment. This is what I saw that day. This year, I turned 40. It is a unique time for me. I am old enough to have had enough experience in life to gain a little wisdom, but young enough to anticipate so much more. It is such a blessing to watch children grow, and I have begun to appreciate the gift of observation. With this, I would have missed your perfect moment. Without this, I would have missed your perfect moment. And this is a vision I would have in my memory forever. So, you see, you was a Father's Day gift to me. I am quite envious, actually, because you and Shannon are so blessed to be doing what you have always wanted to be doing. Shannon's my other son. He's a doctor in Chapel Hill. You have a life's work. Me, I'm more a wanderer. I travel and explore. I will always be looking for what you have found, but for me, that is my life's work. C.S. Eliot said, joy is an unsatisfied desire that itself desire beyond any other satisfaction. My joy is in the searching to those who have found it and to those who never will. So what do you give the man who has everything? Thanks for life. Thanks for your presence in mine. Thanks for having a perfect moment when I could see it. I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day. Now, you can see how I figure I can work at it. I wasn't trying to glorify myself. Lord knows. Lord, I have no qualms about anything. I'm just me. But I didn't know that boy was watching me all that day. I didn't know. Now just think, if I'd have been cussing, I got up my kid, grabbed him like I did, you so-and-so and so-and-so, used foul language, did things, did this. Guy stopped me, don't bother me, I got things to do. Ask me a question, don't bother me, I don't know no answers. You know, no, that's not me. And he watched who I am and what I am. And that is who I am, and that is what I am. And folks, that's who you are and what you must become. You must become the person that can be out there and be the one that's being watched. Because you are being watched. You think not. If you are an athlete, you are being watched. And you have to take and garner your life thinking at all times, I've got to be careful what I say and what I do because that little guy is watching me. You never know when, you never know. I never knew my son was watching me. And if I hadn't got that letter, I would have never known. But am I so thankful? Did I thank the Lord that night I got that letter? Was how good He'd been to me that weekend, I didn't pull one of my shenanigans or anything, and everything was good. So that's what I'm trying to get across to you. You must take and take control of yourself. Read a little poem and all. I do want to tell you it's been a great week. I've enjoyed you people. You are a great bunch of folks. You are good people. Good people. A lot of you have just got to learn to sprint. Okay. Life affords no higher pleasure than that of surmounting difficulties. In other words, every day you get up, you wake up to some sort of difficulty. But if you'll take the attitude that if I surmount that difficulty, think how good I'm going to feel. What pleasure I'm going to gain from topping that difficulty, whatever that difficulty will be. If you take it as a challenge instead of a woe is me. Too many people today, woe is me, life's against me, things are so bad. They don't take on the challenge. They don't fight the fight. You got to take on the fight and surmount the difficulty. So, another sort of philosophy I have is I take this attitude that I can handle anything that comes if I have the three things. And this is the way I challenge whatever comes. I want to give me health, so I'm strong enough to take it. Give me strength, so I can endure, and the will of God, and I'll do the rest. If I have my health, if I have a strong character and a strong attitude as to what I have to endure, if I know it's Lord's will and God's will, I will go all out. I don't attack it till I know whether it is His will. And then next, and the last words of this, Karen, the first and great gift you can bestow on others, the first and greatest gift, actually, you can bestow on others is to be a good example. Greatest gift you can give your parents, the greatest gift you can give those around you is to be a good example of what it is to be a good person, a good athlete. That's the greatest gift you can give others. And I'll read this poem, and that's it. It's called A Little Chap That Follows Me. A careful man or woman I want to be. A little fellow follows me. I do not dare to go astray, for fear he'll go the self-same way. I cannot once escape his eyes, whatever he sees me do, or he tries. Like me, he says he's going to be that little chap that follows me. He thinks that I am good and fine, believes in every word of mine. The bad in me he must not see. My life to him must an example be. I must remember as I go through summer sun and winter snow. I'm building for the years to be for that little chap that follows me. Folks, you have no idea who's looking up to you. You have no idea who is following you. I'll give you one example of this. They finished the races there at the Olympic trials, and I'm trying to think now who it was. I've gone blank. The guy that won the 5,000. Who? Okay, that's right. That's it. The guy from Culpeper. The guy from Colorado. All right. The guys are all talking, and they're talking about setting up the news thing, and they've got like the quarter-mile champion and one of the great, one of the things, big deal guys in there, Johnson, somebody in it, and I'm thinking that, I know it was Alan Johnson. They had Alan Johnson in there, and I figured there won't be anybody in there. They'll all be in there with Alan and so forth, and they're talking, one buddy's laughing. I said, what do they want to get down there for? There's nobody there. I walked down around there. There was 100 people talking to Johnson. There was 500 people lined up to get Culpeper's autograph and to talk to him. 500 people. There was a person I thought, in my mind, he doesn't have a chance in the Olympics. He won, but he hasn't got a chance. You know what we're in trouble with the people. And there's 500 people ready to get that autograph, to adulate him, to follow him, to be like him. He was the greatest example out on the track that day for the people that wanted to meet his autograph. More people took his autograph than the rest of the people put together that finished the races that day. And this was Culpeper. So therefore, you never know who's following you. You never know who's looking over your shoulder. You don't know who wants to idolize you. And who is idolizing you, who's watching everything you do. You've got to do it right, and you've got to be an example in all that you do, as a runner and as a person, for yourself, for your parents. Thank you. I've had the greatest thing that could have happened at this camp, and that was at the dining hall, put sweet tea into the thing. Now you think you love sweet tea. This is all sweet tea. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't eat that much, but I drink a half gallon of sweet tea a day. And I have half a glass of sugar and the rest tea. So this is what it is. So that's the greatest thing.